Biggest trophy, 38 games, 0 losses. The 2003-04 Arsenal squad did what no English team has done since, go an entire Premier League season unbeaten. It wasn't luck, it wasn't cautious football, it was dominance in motion, fast, fluid, aggressive and cold-blooded when it mattered. The midfield was a war zone. Patrick Vieira set the tone with crunching tackles and command. Gilberto Silva mopped up everything behind him. On the wings, Robert Pires danced, Freddie Ljungberg darted, and they fed one mission: get the ball to Thierry Henry. Henry scored 30 league goals, most of them with a level of flair that made defenders freeze mid-run. They clinched the title at White Hart Lane, in front of their biggest rivals. That squad earned the name the Invincibles. They even got a special gold Premier League trophy, 1 of 1, locked away as a reminder. If you want to rewrite football history, you have to survive every single match day. Arsenal did. No excuses, no shortcuts, just perfection across 38 rounds. Biggest win. This one sounds fake. Arsenal once beat Manchester United 39-0. Yes, 39 goals, 0 in return. And no, it didn't happen in FIFA career mode. This went down in an actual match in the 1800s. The game took place during the 1890-81 season, when Arsenal was still called Royal Arsenal, and football looked like something between a pub fight and a muddy sprint session. Back then, United weren't the global powerhouse we know today. In fact, this wasn't even the same Manchester United. The team Arsenal crushed was a local Manchester 11 in a friendly match, long before Arsenal joined the Football League. Records from the era were sketchy, but multiple historical accounts, including club historians and early press clippings, backed the scoreline up. The manager. When Mikel Arteta took the Arsenal job in December 2019, people called it a gamble. Young manager, no senior experience, walking into a club with more baggage than a holiday airport. He'd barely settled into his seat before the problems started. An unbalanced squad, moody dressing room, and fan expectations stuck in the early 2000s. But Arteta didn't flinch. Within months, he lifted the FA Cup, taking out Manchester City and Chelsea back-to-back. That alone bought him time. Still, the next 2 league seasons saw Arsenal finish 8th twice, and the trust the process memes started flying. Then came the overhaul. Arteta shipped out Ozil, Aubameyang, Mustafi and more. He brought in Odegaard, Ramsdale, Zinchenko, Gabriel and Declan Rice, turning the squad into a high-pressing machine with positional discipline that screamed Pep Guardiola influence. No surprise, since Arteta was Pep's assistant at Man City. By 2022-23, Arsenal led the Premier League table for 248 days. That's longer than some managers last in their jobs. But a late collapse handed the title to City. The next year, they pushed even harder, racking up 89 points, the second most in club history. Still, it wasn't enough. City edged them again. Despite that, Arteta's reputation flipped. From risky appointment to architect of a modern Arsenal revival, he's now locked into a contract through 2027. And even rival fans admit, the guy knows what he's doing. Biggest loss. August 28, 2011. Old Trafford. Arsenal fans walked in hoping for a miracle and walked out in shock. Manchester United came for revenge. The scoreboard read 8-2. No fog, no typo, no charity match. United scored 8 times against a top-flight Arsenal side. It was the club's worst league defeat since 1896, and it wasn't even close. Everything about that day screamed disaster. Arsenal's starting 11 looked like a patched-together pre-season lineup. Carl Jenkinson, Armand Traoré, Francis Coquelin, names that didn't belong in a title race. The squad had just lost Cesc Fabregas and Samir Nasri, and the replacements hadn't even arrived yet. It was a Premier League fixture, dressed up like a youth trial. United didn't hold back. Wayne Rooney bagged a hat-trick, Ashley Young hit screamers, and David De Gea even saved a Van Persie penalty. It was like watching a wreck in slow motion. One goal after another, and no breaks in sight. The founder. Before the Premier League lights, before the Emirates, before even the name Arsenal, there was just a group of workers at a munitions factory. David Danskin, a Scottish-born engineer, pulled together 15 fellow workers from the Royal Arsenal in Woolwich. Each man chipped in a few pence to buy a football. That's it. That's how Arsenal began, December 1886, under the name Dial Square, named after the factory's workshop clock. Their first ever match, a friendly against Eastern Wanderers. They won 6-0, wearing borrowed kits, playing on an open field that barely had boundaries. Later that year, they changed the name to Royal Arsenal, marking the start of something way bigger than a weekend hobby. Danskin wasn't just a guy with a ball. He organised, played, captained and kept the club alive through its earliest days. His fingerprints are all over Arsenal's first steps. By 1891, the club turned professional. And by 1893, they were in the Football League, the first team from the south to ever do it. The legend. Defenders feared him. Fans worshipped him. Commentators ran out of adjectives. Thierry Henry didn't just play for Arsenal. He rewrote what it meant to wear the badge. Signed in 1999 from Juventus, he arrived as a winger who hadn't quite clicked in Italy. Arsene Wenger saw something deeper. He moved Henry up front, handed him freedom, and the rest was goal-scoring poetry. He didn't tap balls in. He glided past defenders, curled them into the top corner and celebrated with that cold, statuesque pose. In just 8 seasons, he scored 228 goals for Arsenal, becoming the club's all-time top scorer. That includes 4 Golden Boots, a record 25 assists in a single Premier League season, and an undefeated league title with the Invincibles. There's now a bronze statue of him outside the Emirates, frozen in that iconic knee-slide celebration. No one argues it belongs there. The owner, Kroenke Sports and Entertainment, better known as KSE, officially took control of Arsenal in 2011. And behind KSE is Stan Kroenke, the reclusive billionaire who owns everything from the LA Rams to the Colorado Rapids. When he showed up at Arsenal, fans weren't rolling out red carpets. They were waving banners. The Kroenke era started with silence. No bold promises, no big interviews, just a business-first model where trophies weren't guaranteed, but profit margins were. Fans quickly noticed the shift. Iconic players left, spending slowed, and year after year, the same pattern played out. Arsenal sold big and bought safe. By 2021, the frustration exploded. KSE signed Arsenal up for the European Super League without consulting anyone. The backlash was instant. Thousands protested outside the Emirates, and even club legends called it betrayal. Kroenke eventually backed out, but the damage was deep. To be fair, the spending did pick up. Arsenal broke transfer records for Nicolas Pepe, Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. And in recent years, KSE's hands-off style gave Arteta full control of the project. Results followed. The first team. When Arsenal joined the Football League in 1893, football was still figuring itself out. Players wore thick cotton shirts, boots that looked like army surplus, and haircuts that said, "I also fix boilers." The club, then called Woolwich Arsenal, rolled into the second division with a squad full of men who'd punch into work before kick-off. This first official league team included names like Fred Beardsley, who had previously played for Nottingham Forest and helped design Arsenal's original red kit. Jack McBean and Joseph Powell were also in the mix, guys more likely to own a blacksmith shop than a sponsorship deal. Matches were played on pitches that turned into mud pits by half-time, and goalkeepers caught balls that felt like wet cannonballs. Crowds were small, sometimes just over 1,000 people, but the passion was real. Arsenal's debut league match was against Newcastle United, They lost 2-2. Yes, even losing was possible back then. The club had no trophies, no fame, and no London dominance, just a bunch of workers-turned-players with laced-up boots and a shot at making football history. There were no nutrition plans. Half-time probably meant oranges and curses, but that first squad set the foundation for what would become one of the biggest clubs in the world. So now you've seen the wildest, weirdest, and most legendary moments in Arsenal's history. Wins that broke scoreboards, losses that broke hearts, and a season no one's dared to repeat. But here's the real question. If Arsenal went unbeaten once, do you think they could ever do it again in modern football? Drop your take in the comments section below, leave a like, and subscribe for more videos like this one.